Hey everyone, welcome back to Hello English. I'm Mia.
And I'm Lucas. It's really great to be here with you all today.
If this is your first time tuning in, a massive welcome to the family. This is the place where we help you level up your English, and at the same time, we help you level up your life. Two things, one podcast.
That's right. We're not just about stuffing your brain with new words. We're about helping you think in brand new ways too.
And today, we're diving headfirst into something that I think everyone, and I mean everyone, struggles with. Something that honestly touches every single aspect of your day.
Time.
Yes, time management. But not the stuffy, boring kind with endless charts and spreadsheets. We're talking about how to actually manage your time in the real world. You know, when you're absolutely wiped out, when life feels like a giant mess, and when, let's be honest, nothing ever goes exactly according to plan.
Oh, I love this topic so much, Mia. Seriously. Because for the longest time, I used to think I was just, inherently bad with time. Like it was some kind of fixed personality trait I just couldn't change.
I feel that. So many people feel that way, right? But here's the absolute truth, Lucas. Time management, it's not a personality trait. It's a skill. And just like any skill, it can totally be learned.
So today, we're going to walk through everything. We'll go from the absolute basics, like what time management really even means, all the way to a super practical, proven method that you can literally start using right now.
Exactly. And by the end of this episode, you're not just going to understand yourself a little bit better. You're going to feel way calmer about your days, rather than more stressed out. So let's get into it. So, Lucas, let's just start super simple. What is time management really? Like, at its core?
Yeah, I think most people, when you ask them, they'd say it's all about doing more things in less time, like cramming as much as possible into every hour.
Right. That's what I always thought too, but that's actually kind of the wrong way to look at it. Real time management isn't about doing try or more. It's about doing what truly matters and then letting go of what doesn't.
Ooh, can you say that one more time? That's a really important point.
Absolutely. Time management is not about doing more. It's about doing what matters and letting go of what doesn't.
You know, Mia, have you ever had that feeling? You finish a whole day, you were literally busy every single minute, but then at night, you just feel like you accomplished absolutely nothing important? Like, zero.
Oh my gosh, every single day. Busy, 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 but utterly empty at the end. That feeling, I think, comes from a really simple mistake. We spend all our energy trying to manage our tasks, but we completely forget to manage our attention.
Our attention? That's interesting.
Yeah, so here's the thing. Time isn't usually the real problem. Our attention is the actual problem. You could have 8 totally free hours stretched out in front of you, but if your mind is just flitting everywhere, jumping from your phone notifications to random thoughts to little distractions, those 8 hours just evaporate. They disappear like sand through your fingers.
Wow, that's such a powerful image. Sand through your fingers. It really paints a picture.
Because that's exactly what it feels like, right? You're trying so hard to hold on to the time to make it last, but it just slips away no matter what.
So why does this matter so much then? I mean, why should someone listening right now really truly care about getting a grip on this?
Well, it's because how you spend your days is literally how you spend your life. It sounds super simple, but it's profoundly true. Your life isn't just made up of these huge dramatic moments. It's actually made up of thousands and thousands of tiny, ordinary hours. And those hours, they become your habits. Your habits then become your character. And ultimately, your character shapes your entire future.
So time management is really life management then, in a nutshell.
Exactly. When you actually learn to manage your time well, you're not just ticking more boxes on a to-do list. You're fundamentally becoming a calmer, more confident, more trustworthy version of yourself. And that's true for how others see you, and even more importantly, how you see yourself.
I really like that phrase. Trustworthy to yourself. That hits home.
Think about it. Every single time you tell yourself, okay, I'll definitely start that tomorrow, and then tomorrow rolls around and it never happens. Something happens inside you, a tiny little voice starts to whisper, you don't really keep your promises. And slowly, over time, you start to lose trust in yourself. It erodes your own self-belief.
That's a heavy thought, but it's so incredibly true.
And then on the flip side, every time you actually do keep a small promise to yourself, even something as tiny as reading for just 10 minutes or making sure you go to bed on time, you build that trust back up. You start to become someone you can genuinely rely on.
So, time management is also about self-respect, practicing self-respect.
Beautifully said, Lucas. Yes, it's self-respect in action. It's showing up for yourself.
Okay, Ryan, let's dig a little deeper here. Why is this so incredibly hard for people? I mean, why do even really smart, capable individuals struggle so much with managing their time?
That's a fantastic question. Let's talk a little bit about the psychology and the brain here, but I promise to keep it super simple for everyone listening.
Please, definitely keep it simple. My brain is already working overtime trying to keep up with you.
Chuckles, I will. So inside your brain, there are basically two systems constantly working against each other. One system is all about immediate comfort. It craves pleasure, ease, and just, like immediate rest. The other system is focused on long-term success. It's the part that wants growth, achievement, and a better future for you.
And these two systems are literally fighting with each other all the time?
All day long. Every single day. When you decide to watch one more cat video instead of finishing that important work task, that's the comfort now system winning. When you push yourself to study, even though you're completely exhausted, that's the future self system winning the battle.
So the real battle isn't even about time itself. It's about which voice inside your head is louder at any given moment.
Exactly. And here's something incredibly powerful to understand. The comfort now system is ancient. It developed thousands and thousands of years ago, back when survival was the absolute priority. Back then, resting and conserving energy was literally what kept you alive. But today, in our modern, fast-paced lives, that same primal instinct can subtly, quietly, completely derail your goals.
So we're basically running on an ancient brain in a totally modern world. That's a wild thought.
That's a perfect way to put it. And once you truly understand this, something really beautiful can happen. You can stop blaming yourself so harshly. You can start to realize, hey, I'm not lazy. I'm just human. My brain is doing what it was literally designed to do. And from that place of understanding, actual, real change becomes possible.
Wow. I think a lot of people listening really needed to hear that today. That self-compassion piece is huge.
Absolutely. Self-criticism never builds lasting discipline. Understanding, however, is the foundation for real change.
Okay, let's talk about some common pitfalls. What are the biggest mistakes that most people make when they try to manage their time?
The very first mistake, and it's a big one, is trying to plan every single minute of the day, like down to the minute.
But isn't planning, like, a good thing, though? That's what you're supposed to do, right?
Planning is absolutely good. But tums over planning, trying to micromanage every second, that just creates an immense amount of pressure. And then, when life inevitably throws you a curveball, and it always does, and your perfect plan falls apart, people feel like total failures. So they just throw in the towel completely.
That sounds like classic all-or-nothing thinking.
Exactly. The second major mistake is focusing on being busy instead of being effective. People often feel proud when their schedule looks packed. But a full schedule doesn't automatically equate to a meaningful or productive life.
Gotcha. So what's the third common mistake you see?
The third mistake is ignoring your actual energy levels and only thinking about the clock. People will say, okay, I have 3 hours free tonight, so I'll definitely finish this big project. But if you are utterly exhausted, those 3 hours will produce almost nothing of value. Time without energy is like a car without fuel. It doesn't matter how many open roads there are. You're simply not going anywhere.
Time without energy is like a car without fuel. I love that analogy. It's so clear.
And the fourth mistake, and this might be the biggest one of all, people try to manage their time using willpower alone.
What's inherently wrong with relying on willpower, though? I mean, isn't that the point?
Well, willpower is like a muscle, And just like any muscle, it gets tired throughout the day. If your entire time management system relies solely on trying really hard, you're setting yourself up to fail by the evening, every single time. Successful time management doesn't depend on brute willpower. It fundamentally depends on having effective systems in place.
Systems, not willpower. That's such a crucial shift in perspective. It takes the pressure off having to be, super disciplined all the time. So Ryan, now let's talk about what successful people actually do differently. Not perfect people, mind you. Just real human people who have found a way to make it work.
Right. Let's get into it. First, they fiercely protect their mornings. The first hour of your day really sets the emotional tone for absolutely everything that follows. People who win the morning often win the entire day.
Okay, so what does winning the morning actually look like in practice? I'm picturing a really intense workout or something.
Chuckles. Not necessarily. It's actually quite simple. It often starts with not grabbing your phone the second you wake up. It's about giving yourself just a few quiet moments before the chaotic noise of the world invades your mind. Even just 5 minutes of stillness can fundamentally change the trajectory of your entire day.
I can definitely see that. Have you ever noticed the difference between a morning that starts out calm and collected versus one that starts in pure chaos? The whole day feels different.
Every single person has felt that difference. A chaotic morning creates a chaotic mind. A calm, intentional morning cultivates a clear, focused mind. It's night and day.
Makes total sense. What's the second habit you see successful people employing?
They work coordinate their natural energy levels, not against them. Every single person has certain hours of the day when their mind is incredibly sharp and focused, and then other hours when their mind is naturally more tired. Instead of fighting this natural rhythm, they strategically plan their most important tasks during their peak energy hours.
So, for someone who feels their sharpest in the morning,
then their most challenging, most important task should absolutely happen in the morning, not their emails, not scrolling through social media, but the *1 task that truly matters and will move the needle.
Okay, got it. And the third habit?
They choose one more priority, not 10. Most people try to excel and be important in every single area of life simultaneously, and as a result, they end up feeling exhausted and unfinished in all of them. Successful people, however, ask a really powerful, clarifying question every single day.
Ooh, what question is that?
They ask, if I could only complete one single thing today, what would create the most significant positive impact on my life? And then they fiercely protect time for that one single thing, making sure it gets done before anything else even touches their schedule.
Wow, that's such a clear and effective filter for making decisions about how to spend your time. It cuts through all the noise.
It really does. And the fourth habit, they rest on purpose, not by accident. Rest isn't something that just passively happens when you finally collapse from sheer exhaustion. Rest is something you intentionally schedule, just like you schedule your most important work.
So rest becomes an active part of the plan, not just a reward that comes after you've already failed or burned out.
Beautifully articulated, Lucas. Yes, rest is incredibly productive. A tired mind simply cannot make wise, effective decisions. It needs to be replenished.
Okay, Ryan, now for the moment everyone's been waiting for. You promised us a proven, practical method. Something concrete we can actually use, not just abstract theory.
Yes, absolutely. Let me share a very simple method that I find incredibly effective. I like to call it the 3 circles method. And the best part? You don't need any fancy app. You don't need any special software. All you need is a pen, a piece of paper, and a good dose of honesty with yourself.
I'm all ears. 3 circles. What goes inside them?
So every morning, or even the night before, you simply draw 3 small circles on a piece of paper. Just 3 plain circles.
Okay, 3 circles. And what do we put inside them?
The first circle is your must-do. This is the single most critical task that, if it gets done today, you will feel a sense of accomplishment and progress. It's the thing that absolutely has to happen.
Gotcha, the must-do. So the absolute priority task for the day.
Exactly. Then, the second circle is your should-do. These are the important tasks that you want to get done if you have time after completing your must-do. They're important, but not critical for today.
The should-do. So, secondary priorities, basically. Nice to get done, but not the end of the world if they slide.
Precisely. And the third circle is your nice to do. These are the tasks that are more optional. They might be enjoyable, or they might be small administrative things. They're the lowest priority. If everything else gets done, great. If not, no big deal.
Okay, so must do, should do, nice to do. That's the setup. But how does this actually help manage time when life gets chaotic?
Great question. The magic of the three circles is that it forces clarity. When you're faced with a busy day, instead of feeling overwhelmed by a giant to-do list, you immediately know where to focus your precious energy and attention. You tackle the must-do first, no matter what. This guarantees that you make progress on what truly matters.
So it ensures that the most important thing always gets done, even if the rest of the day goes sideways. That's brilliant.
It is. And here's a little trick to make it even more powerful. Estimate how long each task will take. Be realistic, not optimistic. Add a little buffer time for unexpected interruptions. So your must-do might be estimated at 1 hour. Your should-dos might be 30 minutes each. Your nice-to-dos might be 15 minutes each.
Okay, so you're not just listing them, you're also assigning a realistic time estimate. That adds another layer of planning.
It does. And this is where the rubber meets the road. When you sit down to work, you focus only on the tasks within the must-do circle. You don't even look at the should-do or nice-to-do circles until the must-do is completely finished. This prevents task switching, which is a huge energy drain.
So you're creating a kind of mental boundary around your most important task. No distractions allowed until it's done.
Exactly. And what happens if you finish your must-do really quickly and you still have energy and time? Then, and only then, do you move on to the should-do circle. You pick one from there and focus on it until it's done. Or until your allotted time for it runs out. And if you finish all your should-dos and still have time and energy, then you can dip into the nice-to-do circle.
This feels so much more manageable than a giant, undifferentiated to-do list. It gives you a clear path forward and a sense of progress even when things are hectic.
It does, and this method is incredibly adaptable. If you have a day where you know you'll be constantly interrupted, maybe your must-do is the only circle you fill, and that's perfectly okay. You still accomplished the most important thing. This method is about intentionality, not perfection.
I can see how this would be so helpful for someone who feels overwhelmed. It simplifies the decision-making process dramatically.
It really does. It cuts through the mental clutter. Now, an important point about this method, especially when life is messy, is to be realistic with your estimates and your expectations. Don't try to cram 10 must-dos into one circle. That defeats the purpose.
Right, so honesty with yourself is key, not setting yourself up for failure by overestimating what you can accomplish in a day.
Exactly. And what you'll find is that by consistently completing your must-do each day, you build enormous momentum. Small wins stack up. This builds that crucial self-trust we talked about earlier. You become someone who reliably gets the most important things done.
That's powerful. It's like a built-in mechanism for building self-respect and confidence, just through daily practice.
It is. And it's so simple, you can literally do it anywhere. On a napkin, in a notebook. The tool itself isn't important. The mental framework is. So to wrap up this part, the 3 circles method is about creating clarity and focus by intentionally categorizing your tasks based on their true importance and impact, ensuring that your most critical work gets done first, every single day.
Okay, this has been incredibly insightful, Mia, but let's bring it back to our core topic, time management in real life. Especially when things get messy. We've talked about the psychology and a great method, but what about the emotional side of things? Like, how do you stay motivated when you're just feeling drained?
That's a brilliant transition, Lucas. The emotional aspect is huge because often the biggest roadblock isn't a lack of planning. It's a lack of motivation or feeling completely drained. You know, when you look at your must-do circle and just think, ugh, I really don't have the energy for this today.
Exactly. It's easy to talk about doing what matters, but what if you just don't feel like doing it? What if you're just tired?
So this is where we need to understand that motivation isn't something that just magically appears. It's often a byproduct of action. We tend to think, I need to feel motivated before I can start. But it's usually the other way around. You start, and then motivation follows.
So it's like just doing the first small step, even if you don't feel like it, can actually ignite the motivation?
Precisely. Think about it like pushing a heavy boulder. It takes a lot of effort to get it moving initially. But once it's rolling, it's much easier to keep it going. So for your must-do task, break it down into the absolute smallest, easiest first step. So small you can't touch-not-cheat do it.
Can you give us an example? Like, if my must-do is to write a report, what's the smallest first step?
Okay, for writing a report, the smallest first step might literally be open the document, or write one sentence, or even find the research file. It's about lowering the barrier to entry so low that your brain can't argue with it. Once you've done that tiny action, you can often easily take the next small step.
That makes so much sense. It's about making the first move as frictionless as possible. That's really smart. So it's not about waiting for inspiration, but about creating momentum.
Exactly. And another key element here is connecting with your why. Why is this must-do task important? When you're feeling drained, remembering the deeper reason behind your actions can be a powerful fuel. Is it for your career growth, for your family, for your personal development? When you reconnect with that purpose, it can reignite your drive, even when you're feeling low.
So, reminding yourself of the bigger picture, the ultimate benefit of completing the task. That gives it more weight than just seeing it as a chore.
Absolutely. And this leads into something else crucial when life is messy: self-compassion. We talked about not blaming yourself earlier, but it's worth emphasizing. Some days are just harder than others. You might have had a bad night's sleep or received difficult news. On those days, your must-do might be the asterisk only thing you get done, and that's okay.
So adjusting expectations for tougher days is part of the process?
Definitely. It's not about maintaining a perfect high level of productivity every single day. It's about consistent effort over time, with kindness towards yourself when you falter. Trying to be a superhero all the time is a recipe for burnout. Recognizing when you need to scale back slightly or focus only on the absolute must-do is a sign of wisdom, not weakness.
That's such a healthy perspective. It's about being effective, not necessarily about being constantly hyperproductive.
Exactly. And then we need to talk about environment. Our surroundings have a massive impact on our energy and focus. When you're feeling drained, sometimes a quick change of scenery can make a huge difference. Even just moving to a different room or going outside for 10 minutes. Our environment can either drain us or energize us.
So if your usual workspace feels demotivating, finding a new spot, even temporarily, could help shift your mindset?
Absolutely. It's about making small conscious adjustments to your environment to support your energy levels and your focus. Think of it like giving your brain a gentle nudge in the right direction.
This is really helpful for grounding the concept of time management in our actual feelings and energy levels. So to recap this point, when you're feeling drained, focus on action over motivation, connect with your deeper why, practice self-compassion, and consciously adjust your environment to support your efforts. It's about moving forward, even slowly, with kindness.
Lucas, this has been such a fantastic conversation about time management, especially for those of us who don't live perfectly structured lives. We've covered what time management really means. It's about doing what matters, not just doing more.
We've delved into the psychology, understanding that the battle is often between our ancient desire for comfort and our future aspirations. And we've touched on common mistakes like overplanning and relying solely on willpower.
And we've explored practical strategies: protecting your mornings, working with your energy, choosing one priority, and resting intentionally. Plus, you introduced that brilliant 3 circles method for daily prioritization.
And we wrapped up by talking about the emotional side, how to push through when you're drained by taking small actions, reconnecting with your why, and practicing self-compassion. It's all about building sustainable habits.
It truly is. The core takeaway, I think, is that managing your time effectively isn't about becoming a robot. It's about becoming more intentional, more self-aware, and ultimately more in control of how you shape your days and, therefore, your life. It's about building trust with yourself, one day at a time.
That sums it up perfectly. It's about aligning your actions with your values and your long-term vision, with grace for the process.
That wraps up today's episode of Hallo English. Thank you so much for joining us. We hope you feel a little more equipped to tackle your days with clarity and calm. We'll catch you next time.
Thanks, everyone. Keep learning, keep growing, and keep managing your time wisely.